Welcome to the Empowered Team podcast. I am your host, Kari Schneider, and this is not my normal venue for recording podcasts. If you are seeing this on YouTube, which I invite you to watch on YouTube and listen, of course, on iTunes and Spotify. But if you're seeing this here, you're going to see that I am on the most beautiful spot. I have a wood log railing behind me, cedar trees behind me, if you're listening in. And as I moved around, you can see the dock and the lake and the gorgeous blue sky with puffy clouds. It's absolutely gorgeous. Now, this is one thing that really lights me up, but that's what I'm going to share today are the 5 things that I have in my life that I have done or consumed before 9 a.m. that if I don't do these things, it will affect my energy for the day. It will compromise my energy for the day. So what do I do to give myself energy, to give myself health first thing in the morning before even 9 a.m.? Let's dive in. So I don't know about you, but let's say you moved cities. Let's say you got a dog. Let's say you had a child. Let's say you changed a job. Any of those things, something in your routine often gets thrown off kilter. It changes. It's not quite the same. And then you don't notice it at first, but then over time, you find that your energy is just not quite the same. Maybe you either lost a little weight or gained a little weight, or you found that you just weren't as clear in thinking or speaking when you're working. And what I've found is over the years, if I miss one of these for any length of time, I notice it. And so these 5 things are non-negotiable, and I don't even think about them anymore. I had to actually sit down and go, well, what happens if I miss one of these? And what are the main things in the morning that if I miss them, it affects my day? And over the long haul, if I miss them, it affects my energy long term or even my health. So here are what they are, because they are adding to not only healing 8 rib fractures, they're adding to my clarity, they're adding to my energy, they're adding to my drive during the day. I am, as many describe me, motivated, driven, energetic, and I love being able to be that. So it really feels like a hit physically when I don't have my energy, and even emotionally as well if I don't feel the same kind of energy. I really nourish and nurture having that in my life. So let's start with number 1. These are in order. These are in order of how I do them in the morning. The very first thing that makes a huge difference for me is water. So when I get out of bed, even before I've gone to the bathroom, I have a glass of water beside my bed, and it has about 1.5 cups of water in there. And I drink that water until there's probably 1/3 of a cup left, anywhere between 1/4 to 1/2 cup left in the glass. So I've drinking a cup of water before I've done anything. I haven't changed. I haven't gone to the bathroom. I've drinking that cup of water because I know how dehydrated all of us gets from sleeping. I know how it's going to start to give my cells what I need, give my blood that fluid amount that has become dehydrated over the night. So the water is a huge thing. I start with that first. Then after that, and this, I realized this later, I'm like, I do this every day. This is so important, and it happens before 9 a.m. every day. And it's being outside. It's something that is happening because of my dogs. But what I've noticed, if I've gone somewhere without my dogs, or the dogs have traveled with another family member, or I don't have to take care of them, I notice that I crave getting outside. Now, here's where the research is. When your eyes, which are the only exposed part of your brain, when your eyes are exposed to morning rays of sun, it's a certain horizontal level of rays of sun, your brain helps your brain reset to your circadian rhythm. It helps your brain release your hormones in the morning and have you go toward a circadian rhythm that will have you releasing cortisol in the morning, getting more relaxed and ready for bed in the evening. And that early exposure to the sunrise rays of light are very important for that cycle. This, I didn't realize was so important for me. And I've done it for so many years because I'm taking dogs outside to walk them. We don't let them out in the backyard to do their numbers. I walk the dogs so that they get some exercise first thing because I know it's good for them. I know it's good for me. And away we go. Now, that dog walk is not what I consider my exercise. That is my exposure to nature. That is my exposure to light, natural light. That is my exposure to getting some fresh air, getting out of the stale environment of being indoors. That is something that is so now ingrained. And I realized that it was important to share this on this episode simply because so few people go outside every single morning. And I'm in an environment right now where I'm living on a lake for 3 months. And I've done this for the last 5 years in this project of restoring Wycliffe Lodge, which is very exciting to launch this summer. Very, very exciting to do a grand opening this summer. However, I feel the difference when you've been this close to nature, this kind of proximity and immersion. Then when you go back to being more indoors more often throughout the day, it feels different. I don't sleep as well. My heart rate variability goes down. My heart rate goes up slightly. The healing effects and the nourishing effects of being around trees and being outdoors and being in nature is so powerful. So I don't care if you live in the busiest city. I don't care if you don't see trees that often. Getting outside and being able to have that light exposure first thing in the day is so, so valuable. So do that. If it's something that you want to make a difference for your circadian rhythm, I highly recommend it. So that is number 2. Number 1 is water. Number 2 is outside. Number 3 is movement or exercise. So typically if it's a Monday through Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm looking to do some form of lifting. And it starts with the walk outside with my dogs. I might do a longer walk or some form of getting more blood flow. If it's cold outside, then I'm going to use the outdoors or use the walk to get me warmer. I might take a little longer. But then I'm going into movement prep to prepare my joints and activate my nervous system, or a dynamic warm-up if I'm about to do a run, and go into my lift on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Or if it's a Tuesday, I will do a run, usually an interval run. On a Thursday, I will do a longer walk. And then on a Saturday, I will do another run. And on a Sunday, I will do a longer walk. So every single day, there is exercise of some form. Some of that exercise is more recovery-based. Some of it is more intense and muscle building. Some of it is more cardiovascular focus. But every single day, there is movement, there is exercise. Now, take the example, 2 days ago, I flew and I had to leave the house at 5:30 in the morning. So I was up at 5, leaving the house by 5:30, an hour and a half commute to the airport, then in the airport, then on the plane, then another 4-hour drive. So it was a solid travel day. So what I do in that case, if I'm missing a workout or the day is unusual, I either get that workout the next day or I combine it with what was next day. So for instance, if I have a lift the next day, I might still do the lift, but instead of missing the run from the day before, I will do a shorter little run in my warm-up. So I won't be falling behind in my fitness from missing one of those workouts. I'll do some form of making up for it. In the case that I just gave, the example at the airport, then I'm going to try and walk through that airport. So when I have 30 minutes until we board, I'm spending that 30 minutes walking around. Even if I have to drag my suitcase, carry a bag, I'm going to walk and get that movement in, because the staleness of sitting for that many hours, not only on a plane, but then driving, will not only take my energy for that day, I will be recovering from that and feel the lag in energy. Even it's not jet lag. I didn't change time zones except for an hour, and I stayed on the same time zone. It's not jet lag. It's the staleness of your body having been in the environments of an airplane and a car and in the position of not moving. Not moving is a health detriment. So I will walk as much as I can. So exercise is the third thing. Now, remember I said this is in order of execution. This is happening as the first thing was the water. The second thing was outside. The third thing was exercise. That's the order I'm doing it. The outside is usually with a walk with a dog. So there's some movement going on. It's not really exercise, but it's activity. So it's happening, but it's not the exercise when it comes to my prescribed exercise. So we've got those three things first. The fourth thing, and I think you're going to like this one, is supplements. Now, some of you have seen me hold this up in pictures, and what I'm showing, if you're not watching the video and you're listening to the podcast, I'm showing a gross-looking green drink. And I've got it in a jar today, but it's a green drink. Now, a lot of people have asked me, what's in your green drink? They'll see me if I'm on a coaching call, and I'll take a sip, and someone will finally say, well, what's in your drink? So here's what's in my green drink. My green drink has creatine in it. My green drink has collagen in it. My green drink has sometimes another supplement, not all the time, called myosinitol. And my green drink also has greens in it. So specifically, this one I have at least usually 5 to 8 grams of creatine. The reason I'm using creatine is, there's so many reasons. Everybody should be consuming creatine. Please, if you're not taking creatine, take creatine every day, especially if you are active and working out, especially if you are a woman, especially if you're vegetarian or vegan, especially if you care about your brain health. Take creatine. Good thing, good thing, good thing. Please do it. So 5 to 7 grams of creatine every single day. Collagen is in there. This is not only for my joint health, but it's clean protein. It's unflavored. The collagen is also helping me right now because I have 8 bone fractures. They were displaced, so very serious, hard to heal fractures, along with fragments in ribs. So not an easy place for a body to heal because there's constant movement. So from the breathing. So the collagen is there to help with the new fibrous tissue, collagen tissue that's forming and eventually to bone. And it's helping with a little bit of protein. It's helping my joints. So I'll take the collagen every day too. The greens, I'm not too picky on green brands, but right now it's a BioSteel brand, and I'll look for greens that just give me more micronutrients through various superfoods, whether they're wheatgrass, sometimes they're reds, like there's dried berry extracts. There's all kinds of things depending on what brand I'm using at any given time. So it's a greens mix right now. You could use Athletic Greens. There's another brand I use besides BioSteel. I like BioSteel because I used to sell it in my gym, and I learned a lot about the products. I don't sell it now, but so those are the things that are in this. I mentioned the myosinitol, which I don't have it in there right now, but that was a supplement that was recommended by a naturopath simply because of the nervous system challenges that I was going through with Graves' disease. And so I still take it because one of the things I had with Graves' disease was tremors. I had tremors in my fingers. If I was trying to pincer my thumb and my forefinger or any of my fingers, they would be shaking. And my nervous system was so fired up all of the time. It was one of the things that would help with my nervous system. So that is in my greens drink, but that's not all I'm taking for supplements. I have a vitamin D supplement. I'll take 1,000 international units of vitamin D every day. which isn't a lot really compared to what you can take and what is efficacious for cancer prevention, bone health. I need it for bone health. But I also take it drops on a weekly basis that has a vitamin DK stack. And I also look to get outside on a daily basis. So I want the natural exposure for vitamin D with sunlight. I have another liquid form that I take that's D and K together, which is a great stack, a combination for absorbability and works really well with your body. And then I'm also taking a 1,000 international units as a small tablet. I will take fish oil as well as a multivitamin. I'm looking for a multivitamin that's bioavailable, so it's made from typically food sources. And I use that through doTERRA, the fish oil and the multivitamin, because I've done extensive research on their product because I used to sell it in my gym as well with their essential oils. So I understand what's in it. I'm very careful about what supplements I consume because it's such a convoluted industry that has a lot of contamination, and I'm careful about what I'm consuming. So I love this brand. I also love the brand Thorne, if you've ever heard of that brand. I'm not selling either one of those, so these are just recommendations. And within that is the multivitamin. I'm also taking a cellular supplement, so it has a few other things in there. I do take a couple more supplements later in the day. That includes sometimes an ashwagandha if my cortisol or my stress levels are high. Almost every day, a magnesium supplement. And that's about it right now for supplements. I am aware of the bone healing that I need to do, so I will not miss my supplements. So thankfully, that habit was very ingrained a long time ago. It wasn't something that I had to suddenly start to take new things. I was already on the path for doing the best habits for bone healing, thank goodness, because I needed that. So I didn't have to create a new habits. What else? So that is number 1 has been water. Number 2 has been outside. Number 3 has been exercise, movement of some form. Number 4 is my supplements. Again, this is all happening before 9 a.m. And number 5, you're going to love number 5 because you're like, do you even eat? What's even happening? Then it's breakfast. Oh, my breakfast. Ooh, love breakfast. So here's some fundamental rules I have around breakfast. And it's simply that every single breakfast, I will have a fruit and I will have a protein. Those are the standard rules I have for breakfast. That's it. What I discovered, I remember in university, I would love to have a bowl of cereal and I would have, I can't even remember the names of the cereal. I wouldn't have any sort of sugary cereals, but really, that's what I was thinking at the time. The truth is, what I was having that I thought was healthier was still a sugar cereal. The point is that I loved eating that cereal for breakfast. However, I would crash in about 2 hours. So by 10 a.m., I would be hungry. I would be low blood sugar. I would be also craving more what I thought was hungry, but I was also craving more carbs or craving sweets. And I also would notice this on weekend brunch type scenarios. So let's say it was a weekend and I ordered some waffles or I ordered some pancakes, or I had a cinnamon bun for breakfast. Anytime I did that, I understood the calorific value of whatever I ate. I knew how many calories were in it. So I knew that it should sustain me through lunch. However, what I was finding, if I had the cinnamon bun, I had the waffles, even if they were whole wheat, even if I added some protein with it, I was finding that I was still craving sweets all day long. For me, this is not true for everyone, but for me, if I start my day with something that's sweet, that's refined sugar, I will crave sweets all day long. I will be doing everything in my power to not be consuming all sorts of sugary things. Candy, chocolate, dried mango, you name it. I'll be doing that because I started the day with sweets. So I simply don't have things like a cinnamon bun or pancakes, even if they're gluten-free. And I've been gluten-free for It's been 3 years now since I went on an autoimmune protocol eating plan or diet because of Graves' disease. And being gluten-free, it cuts out a lot of those sweet things that you might have for breakfast. Although if I had had a pancake that was gluten-free and a little bit of maple syrup, I'd still find that I'd be craving sweets the rest of the day. So what really works well for me now is that protein fruit combination. And there always is some form of fat in there. So if I'm having eggs, I have the yolks in the eggs. If I'm having berries, I'll have coconut milk with the berries. I'll have nuts often as well. So the most common go-to breakfast for me would be a bowl of berries. And those berries are usually strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, and blackberries. So I'll have a bowl of berries, and I will put some chia seeds on that with some coconut milk. Sometimes the coconut milk is so fatty that it's like a spoonful of coconut glob from a can. And sometimes I might put a little high protein soy milk with it to give it a little more liquid. And I'll mix that together, and the chia seeds absorb the liquid, so they give it a little more of a seedy texture to it. And then I've got all the berries in there. That I will eat almost every day, with the exception of when I'm traveling, that's not as convenient. So I might have an apple or an orange instead. With the exception of certain days I'm doing harder runs, I might put the berries into a smoothie instead and add a banana along with the coconut milk or soy milk with protein, and add my collagen and my other supplements. Like, I'll add all of these things I have in the green drink if I'm going to have a smoothie, but I'll only have a smoothie once, no more than twice in a week. I want my body to not drink my calories that are much more easily absorbed, faster absorbed if I'm drinking calories. I want my body to process and break down the calories. It's better for me hormonally, it's better for my metabolism, and for me absorbing the nutrients. If I'm drinking the calories because I've chosen to have a smoothie, then the reason I'm doing that is because I want fast absorption. I want the fast access to the carbohydrates because I've just done an intense lift or an intense run. Usually I would choose the smoothie after a run because I want that fast recovery nutrition post-run. But more or less, most of the time, I'm having the bowl of berries, and I'm having an egg, often a soft-boiled egg, or I make egg bites in my food prep on the weekends, and then have these little egg bites that I can have with maybe bacon in it, sometimes a little bit of cheese. So egg bite, fruit bowl, and I'll often add some nuts to that. So that could be some raw almonds, raw cashews, maybe some pecans in there, sometimes hazelnuts. I'll just make my own mix, whatever I'm feeling like at any given week. And then I'll mix it together because I don't like a basic unsalted nut only, and I don't like the fully salted. So I'll mix it so it's not as salty. And I've got a combination of some roasted and some raw and some different types of nuts. So that is typically my breakfast. The point is, though, is that I know the system that works for me. I know exactly how I'm going to feel, and I know that it's the right amount of food for me I might start to get hungry, but for me to last until lunch and not feel like I don't have the energy. So it's works for me. I'm a tiny person, so I weigh less than 110 pounds, and I have a higher metabolism. But that means that what I am eating, even though I can't have huge meals, what I am eating needs to be high in nutrients. It needs to really serve my body. Okay, so these are the things that make such a huge difference for my energy in the short term for that day, and my energy for the long term that week, that month. Because if one of those things, just one of them, is missing, I start to notice a dip in my energy. So these 5 things, remember, they're all happening before 9 a.m. They've all happened just in the sequence of the events that I do. Now, if you're looking to build one of them into your life because you think to yourself, oh, I think I need a breakfast, or I think I need a supplement drink, like a green drink that I'm having, or maybe it's the getting outside every morning. Let's say you're building one of those things in. Don't expect it to feel easy right off the hop. The way that it can feel easier, though, is if you partner it and stack it with something that's already in your morning routine, something you already do. And that's how being outside was so easy for me, because I was dog walking. And now, even if I don't have the dogs, I'm not dog walking, I will still take myself outside to see the horizon, to see where the sun is coming up, to be in the fresh air and the outdoors and hopefully nature. So here is my message to you. Hopefully these are tips that give you ideas for yourself and you understand how they could work for you, or what you want to adjust for yourself to work for you. Or maybe it just has you reassess, what do I do before 9 a.m. to give myself the energy for the day and to give myself long-term energy? Maybe you just want to look at it like that. Because remember, this is all about you being able to have your optimal experience for your life. This is you mastering yourself and your practices for you to be able to be your best. Why? So you can live and give your best. So try these out: the water, the outside, the movement, the supplements, the breakfast. See if anything works for you and go get it. Take your energy and do great things out there for great people and keep going. I believe in you. Let's go.